Earth and Mars aren't always that same spot. So think about that. So going to Mars and coming back would total about 3 years total. But to get there doesn't take that long. To get there and back, it's the 500 days you have to stay there. That's the long, a year and a half on Mars. That's the long thing, long period.
So that would definitely affect the body, right?
Absolutely. But you see, on Mars has gravity. Mars has 1/3. You've studied fractions? Yep.
Yeah.
Good. So 1/3 of gravity on Earth. So what would you weigh on Mars if you know your weight here? Divide by 3. If you know your weight, divide your weight by 3. That's what you would weigh on Mars.
You don't know your weight?
30 or 40.
If you were 90 pounds here,
30.
That's exactly right. So if you're only 30 pounds, it's probably really easy to walk on Mars. I've been in Mars gravity. I flew at NASA on a special airplane that flew like a roller coaster, and the pilot was able to simulate for 30 seconds Mars gravity, and I was able to walk for that amount of time. And it felt great because it felt like my legs had like an extra power given to it. So that's what it's going to feel like walking on Mars. Really nice, really comfortable. But you've got to have your muscles still in shape because 180 days in zero gravity, okay, that's still, it's half a year. That's still a long time. If you didn't exercise, your bones and muscles are going to give you problems. Yeah, we were talking about that. I think before. Yeah, your muscles and your bones, especially, because you don't use your legs in zero gravity. That's the real difference. There's no weight like you are standing right here on Earth. So if you didn't exercise, that's a problem. So on the space station, they have an exercise bike, they have a treadmill, and they have to exercise for 2 hours every single day, every astronaut.
and one of them read that the body stops producing calcium.
Well, yeah, it's two-phased. The calcium from your bones starts leaving your body. Is really the big thing. And yes. So even if you took calcium supplements, your body's not going to retain it because it's not using your whole skeleton as much.
So has there been anything that NASA has done to counteract that?
Exercise.
Exercise?
That's the
biggest thing?
that is it.
Okay.
That is the biggest thing. Not much, not necessarily diet. They don't really change their diet in space. They eat the same food they eat here. Not as good tasting probably, but at least they don't have to change their diet drastically when they're in space.
And how successful has that been, like loss of calcium?
Well, to my knowledge, there's never been an astronaut that was permanently disabled from being in space. So I think that speaks well to the fact that whatever they did worked. Now, like I said earlier, that's not to say that it took them some physical therapy when they came back. It could be weeks, it could be a few months before they were 100%, like they could literally, run a 5K. You're not going to do that a week after you come back from space, right? But eventually they could.
So maybe that could be like the problem that we could focus on, but maybe less of a transition time from when they get back to space. So like we could think about what are some solutions that we could have so like astronauts have less of a transition time.
Yeah.
So maybe like a type of exercise or a machine that they can use. Because we're supposed to like provide like a solution to the
Okay,
problem.
I got it.
And if there's already like a solution, maybe we could like build up on it.
Okay, here's one to think about, and I know that Mark Kelly did this. He was the astronaut that was up there for a year.
She was really biology.
So he spent a lot. Did you read this? He spent a lot of time in a swimming pool when he came home because the motion of your body underwater is very much like what it is in space. And for him, that was an easy way to get back his strength. Even putting a treadmill in, think about that. And you can run and gradually get back. So what's that? Water is like zero gravity, exactly. And I mean, not exactly, but it's probably one of the closest comparisons. Yeah.
And have you worked for NASA?
I did. I worked for NASA between 1989 and 2000. I was in Houston. I was part of what's called the Mission Operations Team. And I was a flight controller in the big mission control room. Did you ever see the movie Apollo 13? You seen that movie? Maybe someday.
I have.
Someday you guys should see it. It's a great movie.
I don't think they were alive.
So, yeah, but it's Tom Hanks, and you can get it on DVD. It's good. Anyway, so my job was to control all the communication systems on the space shuttle during the missions. We had to make sure we could talk to the astronauts and they could talk to us. And then there were video cameras inside this big cargo bay here on the space shuttle. There were 6 of those cameras. Right. So all along the side of this cargo bay, I could sit at my console in Houston and push a button that said pan, tilt, or zoom, and it would move those cameras like a second after I pushed the button. And the space shuttle would fly with that cargo bay pointed toward the Earth. So when the astronauts were asleep, I could do whatever I wanted with those cameras as long as I didn't break them. And to stay awake, because we had to always watch over them, even when they were asleep, to make sure nothing was going wrong with the shuttle. So to keep us busy and stay awake, we would find interesting things to look at on the Earth, like a volcano or an island in the Caribbean, and get amazing pictures. Even thunderstorms and lightning we could see from space. And it was like a symphony. You would watch over a whole continent, a big lightning storm. There'd be lightning here, and then 2 seconds later there'd be lightning on this side. Just like imagine like a symphony of music. So that was part of my job, to watch over all those systems. Well, yeah, it's no single person can control the space shuttle. So it took a computer. There was 3 computers on board the shuttle that did most of the controlling. But back where I worked, we had almost 100 people, each person with a different responsibility. So I was communication systems. Another person's responsibility was the electrical system. Another person's responsibility was the oxygen and life support. So we had to be the extra sets of eyes for the mission. Of course you can. You can take as many pictures as you want. Absolutely.
All right, guys. Any more questions? Because our show starts at 11, so that's in like 8 minutes. Any more questions?
Yeah, you guys asked some great questions.